Okay, I'm going to show you a shortcut method for finding the derivative of the ones we just found using the limit definition. So here's the rule: if y equals kx to the n, then the derivative, I'm going to call it y prime, equals the number in front, the coefficient, times the exponent, and then your x will now be to the power that's 1 less. So this is the power rule. Okay, so let's try it up here. The derivative is times the coefficient and exponent, so that would become 6. And then the x will have an exponent that's 1 less, which is just 1. Okay, the derivative, I times the exponent and the coefficient, so 14. And then the x will have 1 less degree, so again, it's just a 1. Okay, times exponent and coefficient is 12x, and then the x will have 1 less degree. So, okay, what are we going to do with this one? So square root, I'm going to actually rewrite this whole thing. What is the exponent on a square root? It would be the same as having an exponent of a half. So now I'm going to, after I rewrite it, now I'm going to analyze. The derivative is exponent times coefficient. So 6 times a half is 3x, and then to the negative a half now, because this is 1 less than that. If you don't have to, but I'm going to show you how to rewrite this. So a negative exponent could change to the bottom, and then the half could also be expressed as a root. So these three things mean all the same thing. Okay, next. So this would be 15x and then squared, 1 less. Derivative, 6 times 20, or 6 times 4, gave the answer away, and now the exponent's 3. Okay, last one here. I don't like how it's written, so I'm going to rewrite this one again. So if this is an x to the 1 on the bottom, it would be x to the negative 1 if I moved it to the top. Okay, so now when I apply the rule, this multiplied is negative 24, and if I do 1 less, it's to the negative 2. Okay, again, you don't have to, but I'm just going to show you that this would mean the same thing. Okay, so let's check out the ones we did yesterday. Okay, so we had these ones, so we did this the long way, and look at what we got, 6x. Right, see how it turned into that. Right, 24 over x. Do you see how it turned into a negative 24x to the negative 2? So this one, 18x to the 1/2. So if I times, that's 9x to the negative a half with the rule. 9x to the negative a half. And this one we did it the long way. This is 7x to the negative 1. So if I use the rule, that's negative 7x to the negative 2. And that's what we got. So here, 7x squared, if we apply the rule, it should be 14x. 14x. Well, we got 70, and the reason we have 70 is because 14 times 5, that's the x value, right, is 70. And here, 6 root x, so if I rewrite that, then the derivative shortcut would be 3x to the negative a half over 3 over square root of x, the same thing, right? And And why did we get 3 halves? Because the x value was 4. So if I insert a 4, that would be a 2. Okay, so just to do a few more, let's just try these. So the derivative is 80x to the 7 and plus 35x to the 4. Okay, 7 times 6, so 42x to the 5th. 8 times 2, 16x. There's a magic number of 1 there, so 11 times 1 is 11. And then this would become x to the 0. But I don't need to write x to the 0, that's just a 1. And then this really actually has an x to the 0 on it, so 0 times 7 is nothing. So if you think about something like this, if I just had that, it would be graphed like that, a flat line at 7. So what is the slope of that line? The slope is 0. That's why the derivative is 0. So any constant will have a slope of 0. Okay, so this one I left you room here because I think you should rewrite it before you derive it. Okay, so that's just rewriting. Now if I derive it, I get that multiplies to 4, and 1 less is negative a half. Multiplies to negative 10, exponent negative 2. Okay, I'm going to get you to also rewrite this one. And even this one I would rewrite. I'm going to, instead of just dividing by 6, I'm going to write it as 1/6 in the front. Okay, so now take that and derive it. So 4x negative a half, negative 8, and then to a negative 3, and this would multiply to 5/6 x to the 4th. Okay, again, let's rewrite 50x to the negative 1 plus 7x to the negative 4 plus a quarter x cubed. Now it would be easier to derive. Negative 50x to the negative 2, negative 28x to the negative 5, multiplies to 3/4, down a degree is 2. Okay, last question. Find the slope of a tangent line for 10x squared at x equals 4. So let's derive this. So the rules would say 20 and then x to the 1. So now I'm specifically saying, but what is the slope at x equals 4? So the slope is 20 times 4, which is a slope of 80.